This is Tony Todd, Candyman, and you're listening to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast. Be my victim.
In a world where zombies, ghosts, serial killers, and vampires all exist, it's Nico, Brian, Mike, and Dustin, and they are all that stand between you and the films that could end the world. Welcome to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Don't Go Out There. I can't do a good Nico. What's up, everybody? It's Mike here, and for my birthday this year, I decided to not make everyone sit through a 4-hour-long live show for March Madness. No. This episode could be 15 minutes. It could be an hour. I don't know. We'll see how the episode goes. But I decided to go with horror hot takes. Now, sporadically throughout the runtime of our show here, we've sprinkled these in, but we've never gotten the chance to compile a list and talk about them all. And I've seen a lot of other content creators do this in the past. So I figured, why not let the guys that don't go out there take a stab at horror hot takes for my birthday, a little bonus. We don't have to watch a movie. We can just kind of sit and chat and talk about our favorite or some of our not favorite, apparently, after some listener comment, horror movies. So just the way it's going to go on my screen here, the order is going to be Brian, Dustin, Nico, then me. I'm going to go last here on my birthday. How we feeling, fellas?
Sounds good. I really missed that March Madness thing last year.
We're going to skip a year
to that maybe again this
because
year.
I did not get around to doing the bracket. We're going to circle back to it next year. That's my plan. All A24 movies, Brian.
Okay,
Dude,
fantastic.
You say that? No joke. I made a list in my phone of all the A24 movies we reviewed. I have
got
that
time.
in my
Yeah.
list right now.
Brother.
We got time next week, brother.
Hey, that's true. We
As
can
long as I don't
still
have to
do
rewatch
it.
anything.
No, you do.
We
Have
could
to
still
rewatch them
do
all.
a bracket. Just make it
I'm out
32 and figure out something for next week. I don't know. We'll talk. I'll brainstorm it up here. All right, Brian. I'm going to start with you. Let's go with our horror hot takes. Where are you going, Brian?
So this was really hard for me because, what's a hot take? Something you go against the grain on. I don't know. I've been pretty vocal with most of mine, so a lot of this I think I'll be just repeating for what I've already said. But also, I'm not going to say stuff because I don't want to offend some people I hold pretty dear. But one thing I've definitely grown to appreciate on the show is being able to accept opposite takes. Like 5 years ago, I may have argued with you about something, but I mean, one of these hot takes. But now, I can appreciate and accept the different opinion. Where I have an issue is someone who can't take a differing opinion and wants to tell you you're wrong for your like or your dislike. I mean, that's where my biggest issue lies, I think. So needless to say, I had some trouble coming up with this list, but my number one, I think for my first hot take, I have to go with my dislike of the movie The Shining. Much like Dustin with Jaws or Nico with Psycho or really any movie not from 2024. I'm just kidding. I'm just not with the crowd in my thoughts of this horror classic here. I think it's very boring. While I appreciate the movie for what it is, I'm just not a fan. But now a sequel, Dr. Sleep, Chef's Kiss, and I know you guys all agree with me on that. I think I ended up giving The Shining a 7, but retroactively, I'd probably go lower if I'm being honest.
Right. So really quick, Jordan
All right,
Ziegler
I'm
sent in a
next.
comment to Instagram saying the exact same thing as Brian. So we're going to put a pin in your take there, Brian, and circle back to it when we get to the Instagram comments. Go ahead, Dustin. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine. I struggled with this list. It's such a broad topic, and my memory is what it is, and so I was like, I don't really know what to do. So I'm probably forgetting some that I've said throughout the years on this show that were hot takes at the moment. Oh well, go back and find them. My number one hot take. This one is bigger than just horror, but my first hot take is that the internet was a mistake. People having information at their fingertips has dumbed down society. There's no need to retain any information or any knowledge anymore. Social media is toxic, spreads misinformation. Relationships fail more often than ever because the ability to connect with other options is so readily available. There are many other negatives in general, but in regard to horror, it's killed the mystery. We can just look up reviews and form opinions before we even give movies a chance. Also, think about the Blair Witch Project. When that movie came out, we thought it was real. No chance of that happening today at all. We can find out all the details, all the ins and outs as soon as the movie's announced. And finally, the constant ingestion of content feeds right into the content wars where studios are so focused on pumping out content that they greenlight some absolute dog crap movies. And most of those are just lame attempts to milk successful IPs dry with unneeded sequel after unneeded sequel after reboot. So the internet was a mistake. Hot take number one.
Dustin, something I've been wanting to talk to you about anyway, because, a few years ago, you kind of started with the take of the sequels being necessary and things like that. And I agree with you sometimes and not, but now that A24, for instance, and Neon and all of these studios, I feel like are just pumping out so many movies, and it's all original content, like just a ton of it. And you agree with that, I think. Is there not a place anymore for the people that do want a sequel to an established franchise? I mean, is it always, hey, there's no more unoriginality anymore, even though there really is probably more originality now than ever?
Those are independent studios that don't get the funding that your IPs that are established get from Universal or all these.
So
studios.
when you say Hollywood it doesn't have any more originality, you're meaning the big studios. That's what you're talking about then.
Yeah, big Hollywood. And I'm not saying there's not a place for sequels and there's not a place for reboots. You gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Pick and choose. Only put the quality ones out there. We get so much crap, and for every 10 movies, we get one that's like, oh, that's a good one. I feel like when it comes to sequels and reboots.
All right, I'll start with a softball. I put Child's Play as a better overall franchise than Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Hellraiser. I don't know if
that's
by
a
far.
softball, buddy. That's pretty tough. Okay.
No, actually, I think I agree with you. TCM 74 is the best of any of those movies, but as a franchise, I agree with you, I think.
Because I like Child's Play 1 all the way through Curse. Like, I can enjoy them at least, but like TCM 2, 3, 4, awful. Nightmare on Elm Street's good in 1 and 3. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of New Nightmare, but it's solid. So, I don't know. I just like Chucky better overall. I'm not saying Chucky is better than Freddy, but I enjoy Child's Play more.
There's probably some people
overall.
There's probably more people that actually agree with you than you think. I would say. I feel like people love Freddy the character more than they love a lot of those movies. I think now again, they're always going to have those fans, right? But I think people probably like Freddy more than they do Chucky, depending on your age, right? I mean, it's just like a villain. Okay, all right. Dustin, you teed me up for my first hot take here, man. You mentioned that 74 is the best movie of those. Nay, I say. My hot take number one is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 03. The reboot is better than 74 OG Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it's not close. This movie is one of the best slasher movies of all time. It has everything you could ask for. It has great gore. The story was already written for, but I think they actually improved upon the story a little bit. I like the family dynamic better. I like the gritty, dirty, grimy feel better. It works better with this modern work. I mean, it just, to me, and maybe that's just because of when I saw it, right? Like maybe I'm being a ageist for a film, you're right? Because I mean, again, I don't know if that's true because I still think 78 Halloween is one of the best films of all time and it's old, right? So I think it just kind of depends, but we're just talking about movies that move slow. That first Texas Chainsaw Massacre moves so slow and there's nothing, like not a whole lot goes on. A lot of the effects don't hold up. Like that remake is so good and so scary, and Leatherface is so intimidating and creepy, and I think it's a better film, 100%.
No comment.
I agree with you on that one. I'm going to skip the one I was going to go to just because I'm going to kind of piggyback off of that. I'm going to go a step further, Mike, and say not including Rob Zombie's Halloween and the remake Nightmare on Elm Street, but the horror remake phase that we went through in the early 2000s, I think produced movies that were all better than the originals. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Dawn of the Dead, The Fog, Friday the 13th, Amityville Horror, Hills Have Eyes, House of Wax, The Ring, Joyride, 13 Ghosts, Carrie, and The Grudge. I think are all better. I think are all better than the originals.
I don't know about Carrie. I have to watch that remake first.
You why did you say excluding the Rob Zombie Halloween movies and then list all those others? What was the purpose of that?
Because I think that all of them were better than the originals, but the Rob Zombie Halloween and the Nightmare on Elm Street remake were not. So
It's not.
I see what's going on here. I see what's going on. First Mike goes and he's like, guys, the TCM 74 sucks. And then Brian follows it up with from the top rope elbow.
Rob Zombie doesn't suck.
What's next,
Rob
Nico?
Zombie
What you
does
got
not
for me?
suck. Anyway,
All right.
it's your turn though, Dustin. Yeah.
Let me
Pop
get
off,
my
King.
second one off. Yeah, let me get my second one off. This one ties right in with my first hot take. Most sequels are unneeded. Friday the 13th. Everything after Chapter 4 is completely unnecessary. Nightmare on Elm Street. Everything after 3. Halloween. Actually, everything after the first one is unneeded. I'm not saying there aren't good movies included in those. And the franchises with sequels are in these and the other franchises that have sequels. But the story was sufficiently told without sequel after sequel. Reboots are a little different. Like if you want to put a modern twist and retell the story, fine, I guess. But unless it's a movie like It, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, where you needed the sequel to finish the story, they're unnecessary, unneeded. I could take them or leave them.
All right. I got another softball. I don't think it's going to surprise any. I don't think Laurie Strode is a top 10 final girl. And I think Rob Zombie's Scout Taylor Compton is better than Jamie Lee Curtis in the first
Well, hold
movie.
on.
Go ahead.
I actually have that
Hold
same
on.
one, Nico.
No, I
about
don't disagree.
the
And this is something I've seen floated out before. If we're just talking about acting performance, Scout Taylor Compton's acting performance in Halloween is better than Jamie Lee Curtis's in 1978. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Honestly, if we're just talking about I don't think so.
I think there's a
I
lot of
think if
doubt
we're just
about
talking
it,
about
probably.
performance given, I mean that's Jamie Lee's first big movie,
I mean,
right?
that's why it's a
she
hot
wasn't
take.
good yet. Now she gets good, right?
That's why it's a hot take.
She doesn't start good. No one starts good. Shit.
I wasn't aware she got good. My fault.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. I have issues with this because Nico, this is a personal vendetta. You know what this guy texted me the other day? He texted me, "Wow, I can't remember what the movie was, but like, wow, you liked it more than Everything Everywhere All at Once. That movie was elite, despite Jamie Lee Curtis." What? Okay, and then Mike,
I
you
like
saying
Jamie
that
Lee, by the
Scout
way.
acted better than Jamie Lee Curtis? I know, but what I'm saying about this is that was a different era. Acting was different in 78. Not the quality of acting, just like the style of acting. Because, like, you watch The Maltese Falcon. If someone showed up to a movie set and auditioned like Humphrey Bogart today, they wouldn't get the part. That's just not how that's not how business is done. That's not how people act anymore. So, the performance
say
she
it was
gave
bad.
in 78 was great. I know,
No,
I'm
it
just trying to-
wasn't. No, it wasn't. Sissy Spacek and Carrie
all right,
gave
Dustin,
a much better performance.
I'm going to counter you just a smidge
Had
here
different directors, didn't it?
because in that same film there is a great acting performance by Donald fucking Pleasance. It's awesome. So you could have given a great acting performance in 1978. Just my thought here.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying a lot of times,
Sure.
the director has a lot of input on how a scene is portrayed. And Jamie Lee
Absolutely.
has shown over the decades and decades of excellence, Nico.
I agree with you.
that she can
I'm just talking about these two performances specifically. Now,
I don't think a horror hot takes
that's the whole
show
point.
is
Let's
for
get
me. I'm
fired up.
getting
I love
fired
the
up over here.
conversation. I'm gonna hit y'all with this, and I mentioned it when we did our review of this movie, but I'm gonna combine two because I really don't think it's worth two full takes here. But these are two classics that I think are overrated. The Exorcist stinks on ice. I think it's a bad movie, the original. And I think the Blair Witch Project is super fucking boring, man. Oh my God. It is walking through the woods for an hour and 20 minutes. It's boring. I don't find it scary. And this is with the benefit of hold on. This is with the benefit of hindsight, right? Like I get at the time for its time. I'm talking about now. If I put that movie on now, it's a snoozer, man. It's sleepy material. The same thing with The Exorcist. Because we have hindsight, I can appreciate those movies for their cultural impact and let you know that I don't think they hold up over time under scrutiny. I think they're both pretty bad movies.
And that's We're all
Disagree?
entitled to our opinions, but what I've heard so far on this show from you is that the Blair Witch Project is slow and boring.
I didn't.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre is slow and boring. Mike needs the
Hold on
flashy
now.
lights and the keys dangling. He needs something to grab his
Hold on
attention. It's
You know
ADD.
I like
That's
a
not the
good slow
movies.
burn. Don't tease me with this. It is not the slow burn. It needs to be something needs to be happening during the slow burn. And by the way, I never said, or I didn't mean to if I did, so you have to excuse me, that 74 itself is that slow and boring, but it is much more slow and much more boring than 03. Okay. It's
said
definitely
slow.
not boring,
Yeah, you
and
didn't
I
say-
like
you didn't say
Texas
boring, you said
Chainsaw
slow.
74.
Yeah.
Just don't think it's a better movie than the 03. That's all. Yeah, look, man, and I understand the love of The Exorcist, and again, I can appreciate its cultural impact, but I just feel like we've seen those kinds of movies be done better since. Like, I don't know. And again, it's with the benefit of hindsight. At the time, yeah, I heard it made people shit themselves. So maybe that's just me having the benefit of seeing better, like the Conjuring movies since then. So anyway.
After hearing your stories, that doesn't impress me anymore. By the way, somebody shitting themselves does not impress me. Okay, I think, in my opinion, that John Carpenter is overrated as a director. I
I'll
think
get Dustin
that
fired up.
besides Halloween. Now, I think he's really good at making movies really cheap, but I don't think that they're good. And I think it's solely on him, in my opinion, because I think that all of his movies would be better had they been made by somebody else. I think the stories
man,
are there. I just think he ruins them.
I had to give
Yeah,
you a
you
standing
gotta-
O for that one.
You're going to sit there
Yeah.
and tell me
I will tell you that.
that
That
Ghost
movie
of Mars
sucks.
wasn't a classic?
This is
Oh,
and
okay.
we're gonna have to change the.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hey, we're
I
gonna
don't
have
remember
to
what I
change
rated
the
it,
name
but
of this
I had
episode
fun
to
with
Fuck
it, but it
Dustin.
was...
That's what's happening right now.
Okay. My third hot take. We're on a little bit of an overrated kick here, so let me get my takes off. Not only is Jaws overrated,
Oh,
but a Nightmare on Elm Street as a whole, the franchise, overrated. Like, I shared my thoughts on Jaws, and me saying it's overrated isn't me saying it's bad at all. It just means it's not as great as everyone hypes it up to be.
Absolutely.
The actual definition of the word overrated. Like how I feel about the Beatles. A Nightmare on Elm Street it's kind of a mess to me. The rules come and go for convenience sake, and that just doesn't work for me, brother. But I understand and appreciate the significance of both Jaws and A Nightmare on Elm Street. They just do nothing for me. Oh, and the entire Alien franchise is
my
boring as all get out outside of Romulus.
3 and 1.
Go
Let's
ahead.
go. Let's go.
I don't need you to say
My
that
bad.
if you called him daddy, but anywho, all right. I'm gonna need y'all to let me paint a
Sicily,
picture here, okay?
1960.
Let me explain before I get triple teamed on this one.
Whoa.
All right. Scream would have been better as a one-off. Hear me out. Just hear me out before I get killed. I appreciate some of them. I like 5 a lot. I've grown to like 5 quite a bit, honestly. I think 4 is fine. But I just think with Sydney, she's got all the plot armor in the world. Her story's kind of, we know she's going to be kept alive. Her siblings, it seems like it's always going to be the one who's going to be the ghost face. And now with 6 and 7 is a hot mess. I think Scream would have been an elite one-off. And that's my horror hot take.
Her sibling was really the ghost face in one of them.
I'm a family member. You know what I meant.
I
Okay. 2 of
support
them.
that take.
I said you
support
kind
that
of
take.
have to.
That goes exactly with what I said about... No, my
That's your
second one.
favorite franchise.
That feeds right into what I said with the second one, though, because it's unnecessary. That doesn't mean I don't like them. I like them all. But you're
That's
completely
fair.
right. The story was sufficiently told with
I
that first movie.
I can understand. Okay.
1 and 5.
That
That'd have been elite for me.
Yeah, I said 3 is great.
and 3.
That clarifies. That actually clears up Dustin's stance a little bit for me, because I'm in the complete opposite camp of Dustin. It's just not something worth arguing about, because I respect his take and I hope he respects mine. That I'm always down for more. I know it's okay. I still love you, buddy.
He does.
I'm always down for more. Like, if you've got an idea and I get to watch these characters I like, then feed me more, as Mr. Ryback would say. Like, I'm all for it. However, I can
I agree.
understand. Yeah, I can understand someone.
So it's
buddy,
bad.
I hear you.
We
But
don't
you
need
are.
this.
What is that?
it.
Fast the heck.
The man
Hey, I've
spent money on a movie he hates.
Because I have to own them all. If I own one of them, I have to own them all.
Hey, I still don't
Hey,
have.
so
I still don't have
I will
Halloween
also not
Ends.
buy
I'm
that.
never going to buy it.
Oh, I
that
got
movie
it too.
doesn't exist. I'm playing in Brian's rules now. I'm just going to pretend a movie doesn't exist to fit my narrative.
Yeah,
Never heard of it.
That a boy.
This Corey kinda
never
That's
heard
what
of
I'm
it.
talking about. There you go.
Since
I like it.
Nico went after my favorite franchise
Go.
in
the
Scream,
goat.
I'm
Randall?
going after his. My next take is, well, it's not his. I guess Saw would be. So his second favorite, Jason X is the third best Friday film. There, I said it. It's right. Placed squarely behind
Jesus Christ.
the reboot in 09 and then part 6. I've changed my ranking. I've rewatched Jason X in the last few months. Jason X is the third best Friday film.
Jesus
It has
fucking
some of the
Christ.
best kills and most creative ones in the franchise. It doesn't try to take itself too seriously like some of these other movies do. It's fun. It's campy. It's a great slasher. It's a fucking villain in space going crazy. It's a much better version of Ghost of Mars. Like it does the space theme right. It's so fun. And if you can take yourself away from having to be in this, I have to be at summer camp. I have to be by a lake. I have to kiki mama every fucking 5 seconds and just have a good time with it. It's a great fucking slasher. It's the third best one in the franchise. Thank you.
That was a sponsored ad. How much does Sean Irwin pay you to say that?
$20.
I was wondering the same thing. That's insane.
Yeah, check his deposits. I think
Don't
Sean
be pocket watching me, man.
zelled him to say that.
Mike's basically saying if it was not a Jason film, to think of it like that, like he does or used to.
I
Halloween
actually
3,
feel that way
basically,
about
but it is
Halloween
a
Ends.
Jason
I
film,
decided
so
not to
anyway.
include it in my takes though, because it has too much Michael Myers. I can't remove Myers the character from the film because it is trying to make it Michael Myers, but they make him a big fucking pussy. So anyway, go ahead, Brian.
Before you go,
Okay.
Brian, I just want to make a quick comparison. Michael Myers and Halloween Ends is
Hey, what about Jason
Bonnie
and
Blue
Freddy
of
versus
slashers.
Jason?
Go
What
ahead.
is he? The Lily Phillips? Yeah, no,
That was all
Lily-
propaganda. That was
no,
propaganda.
No, dog, he's the Lily.
That was big New
He's
Line
the
cinema.
Lily Phillips. Although I
That was
don't,
big film. That was big cinema.
Yeah, big Hollywood got a hold of that.
I don't think Lily Phillips is even. A matter of fact, I don't think Lily Phillips is scared of any liquid. Go ahead, Brian.
We have gotten off the track. I don't even know what to say, bro. It's gotten off. All right. Here is another one that I think goes against the grain, but I think the term elevated horror is pretentious and immediately makes me want to punch you in the face. It's cool that you like something,
I agree with
but it
this
doesn't
take.
make you better than someone else, and that term makes it seem like you have an elevated opinion of yourself. So,
You wouldn't get it.
I actually agree with this take because I
feel slighted
think
right now.
what you're trying to say, but we needed it for the hot take, which is great. I appreciate that. What I agree. They make fun of it in Scream 5 is just because it's not a slasher and you have to think for like 10 seconds about the movie doesn't mean you're better than someone that likes slashers, that likes monster movies.
Exactly.
I think
Exactly.
they're all good and they all have
Thank
their
you.
place. I'm an A24 fan, not as big as fan as you guys, but yeah, I know, buddy.
Or
See,
me.
You just admitted it. We
I
got him
love
in
it.
4K. Got him in 4K saying he loved A24. So just keep that in mind. I think the term elevated horror almost comes off like a douche, but almost
Hey, Dustin. Hey,
Yeah.
flash that card, Dustin. He's mad he ain't got one.
I ain't got. Oh
He
wait,
don't have.
no, I didn't
he
get a
don't have
card.
that. Oh, they didn't give
I
you a
didn't get a
card.
card. I got a pin though.
we're off the rails. Holy shit. Okay. So you guys accused me. You guys just accused me of paid sponsorship ad. Fuck off.
At that.
Yeah, you're getting sent swag and shit.
So yeah, I went and saw an A24 movie yesterday that was in Bimba. Never heard of that language before. It was called "I'm Becoming a Guinea Fowl." Elevated. I liked it. All right. My number 4. You know, I'm gonna switch my order up because what you just said, what both of you, Brian and Mike, just said, it lines up perfectly with my number 5. Terrifier is the most lowbrow crap I've ever seen in my entire life
Oh,
as a
man.
franchise.
Okay.
Hate it. It's just awful. There is no substance. And then in the second and third one, they're like, okay, we're going to add a storyline. Doesn't make sense, but we'll add it just to appease some people. It doesn't appease anyone because it doesn't make sense and it's stupid. It's just gore porn for the sake of gore porn. It's awful.
I'm glad I'm not the only one with that one.
Okay. Think Art as a character is great. And I think he's such a good slasher villain that I'm willing to forgive some of the crap in the movies that I see. Because every time I go into a Terrifier movie, I want it to be better than it probably is, just being honest. And I don't hate the first one as much as everyone in this. But I just think the next two are too long. Like, if you cut those movies in half, I think, especially Terrifier 3, that movie's a fucking marathon. But I understand where you're coming from. I don't agree with it, but I understand where you're coming from.
Cut them in half ain't enough. Cut them in 8 and it's still too long.
Terrifier 3 review coming this year.
That's fair. I mean, I can see the point. I mean, I like 1 and 2. See, I'm not a pretentious elevated horror fan. I like some garbage per Dustin, as he called it. I like 1 and 2. All right, anywho, I'm going to completely disagree with Dustin, though, with the sequel thing. One of my horror hot takes is just because it's the original doesn't mean it's the best in a franchise. I think several franchises have sequels that are superior than the first one. Final Destination, Insidious, Saw has several better. Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street, you can argue 3 is better. Jason, I like a lot of the Jason movies better than the original. I could keep going, but I'll just stop there. The Conjuring, I like The Conjuring better.
Because it's my birthday, you're going to be nice and not include that one franchise just for me, buddy. So thank you.
Halloween.
So thank you.
Well,
Halloween
I think Halloween 70 is the best, but I probably enjoy watching kills more, if that's fair.
Halloween 3 is the best.
Well,
I can't
that's
really
a big
argue.
switch for us.
Like,
all of us
I don't think it's the best, but I can't argue if
It's
you have
not
that
the best.
opinion. Well, like, I get it.
It's
It's almost not. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I can. It's not
It's
the
very
best,
fun.
but
It's just not something. I forget that it exists within that franchise. It's just like a fun, scary movie. Like I don't know. Anyway, okay. Now I went to the barrel for this hot take because I really wanted to like be unique. I'd seen a lot of the ones we've talked about on the internet, a few places. So I went with comparing some garbage movies from our logo franchises here, and generally what are thought of as the worst. So I went with Freddy's Dead is better than Halloween 5. Thank you. Oh, buddy. Are you kidding? At
Negative.
least,
Mike,
Yeah,
Mike,
I'm
you
very
know
upset.
Halloween 5
Oh,
is coming
buddy.
in a few months, though, right?
if you thought that I've
Can't
been
wait.
better on the show lately, I'm going to be back to real rare form settle for that episode. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I haven't gone the fuck off in a long time. Can't fucking wait. But just really quick to point out I hate Freddy's Dead. So I want to start there and tell you that I don't think Freddy's Dead is good at all in any way, shape, or form. However, at least it knows that it's not good. It knows what it is. It's a piece of crap. It's not trying to be a good movie within the franchise. Halloween 5 is actively trying to tell a very serious slasher story while including clown music when cops walk up to a house. Fuck that movie forever. It doesn't know what it wants to be. It ruined the character of Myers. It's one of the worst masks, the worst hair. They never used the lighting from the original. Oh God, it's so much. I'll save it for the review. But at least Freddy's Dead has cool graphics. Like, it's got some fun one-liners when he pretends to be the Wizard Witch of the West or whatever. That's kind of fun. At least there's something to be fun. In Halloween 5, it's not fun. It is torture for 90 minutes. There you go.
Mike just said eating poop is better than eating vomit. Okay.
That's kind of what it said. I tried to go unique, man. I know a lot of these other ones have already been seen out there, so I tried to be unique. But you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. That's literally what I did. They're both ass.
They do
All
both
right, go
suck.
ahead, Brian.
They do both suck.
Besides The Shining, I don't know if I have a super beloved movie that I would go against the grain on, except for, I believe, I will say 1992's Bram Stoker's Dracula is overrated.
Dracula movie that's ever been made. So, I mean,
Isn't Gary Oldman in that one? Come on, he's never been in anything
Yeah,
overrated.
sure, eh?
Haven't you seen
And
Tiptoes?
Keanu Reeves, man. And
the only
I
good
can't-
thing
it
Dracula
hurts
ever
me
did
to
was
say.
the book, man. That's it. The original Bram Stoker
Okay.
novel. It's great.
Tiptoes.
Tiptoes.
Performance of a lifetime.
All
I gotta
right,
hear Matthew McConaughey talk about that. That shit's funny as hell.
Yeah. Matthew
yeah.
McConaughey went on Your Mom's House
Yeah.
podcast with Tom Segura, Christina P.
I've seen the
and
clip.
they talked
Yeah.
about Tiptoes, and it's the funniest thing. All right.
It is.
This is my last one. This is all I have. I had this one fourth, but I switched the order. So this one is directed at Mike. Eli Roth, the actor, greater than Eli Roth, the director. He's mostly got small roles outside of The Bear Jew and Inglourious Bastards. So it's not like he's a great, highly acclaimed actor, but That just speaks to how I feel
Well,
about the movies he
I
directs
don't
and
know
writes.
where. Hold on. Also, I don't know where it's gotten lost in the sauce that I'm some big Eli Roth guy. I happen to like the first Hostel more than the rest of us. I don't think the Cabin Fever. I don't think the Cabin Fever
like
is
that one.
awful
No, I like
like
that
you
one.
guys do. Like there's some decent stuff in his filmography, and I like Thanksgiving more than the rest of you. Like that's probably one of the main reasons. But like again, that's buddy. You talked about the poop and vomit thing. That the him being a better actor than director is not really hard to do, man. I don't know what to tell you. But Tarantino,
Okay.
fuck you, Brian. He
Fair.
sucks at acting. Come on, man. He's one
Go
of my dude. He's probably
South Knoxville legend.
he might actually be my favorite director of all time. Full stop. To me, he only has like one movie that I skip. Like it's yeah. Oh,
Which one?
Jackie Brown. I don't think it's bad. I just
knew you
don't.
were going to say that.
Hold
That is
on.
a terrible take.
Hold
Go
on.
ahead.
I
That's
never
the
said it
worst
was
take
bad. I
that's been
just don't
said
go
on the
out of my
show.
way to watch it normally, if that makes sense. I'm not as big on Hateful Eight as you are, I think.
Hateful Eight is my second favorite Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Jackie Brown's
All right,
top four
well,
for me.
anyway,
I love that movie.
Sorry, Nico. Go ahead.
I
good.
got two more, Mike. I got two more.
All right, buddy.
I'll just go with this one. Just because it's a classic doesn't mean it's good. I don't care. I don't know why horror fans think just because a movie's old, it's good. I don't like any of the Universal monster movies. Creature from the Black Lagoon is the worst movie we've ever reviewed on this show. Psycho is terrible. The Birds is terrible. The Thing is terrible. I can keep going.
Wow.
Alien is a snooze fest. Romulus is
Wow.
way better. Aliens is
I'm with you
better.
there.
You want me to stop?
Fucking
I can
Christ.
keep going. The Exorcist, like Mike mentioned, pretty overrated. Conjuring 2 shits all over it as far as a possession movie.
That's like saying, God, it's like saying a 2025 Corvette is better
Blue-
than a Model T. Like,
Blue
yeah.
Velvet was awful. I mean,
Oh,
what?
God.
That's
Oh,
the first
that's-
one I'll agree with you on.
Buddy, that was
Evil
scorching.
Dead, the original, was awful.
Oh, that's
Yes,
not true
thank
either.
you. Bring it
Damn
up. Start preaching, Nika.
Just
I,
because,
fe-
and
I feel like Homage Linklater right now in Midnight Man. I'm preaching up here.
and just because something's old doesn't mean it's a classic. You said that. But like Tourist
And,
Trap.
I got hold
that's not
on.
a classic.
The Lost Boys. People hate on Twilight for sparkly vampires, and then gas the Lost Boys. Don't get me started on this crap.
Why? That's not even comparable. How
Lost
is that
Boys
even
sucks,
comparable?
All right, go ahead, Mike.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Crazy.
You're crazy.
Crazy.
oh,
Crazy.
it is.
I thought
I
this
mean,
was a
I
hot
don't even
takes
know.
episode.
I don't even know
Oh,
what to
yeah.
say to you right now.
Hey, we can talk about the greatness of Midsummer after this if you want
Although I
to.
do like Midsummer.
Yeah.
I do like
Yeah.
Midsummer.
The director's cut.
10 out of
The
10.
director's cut's 10 out of 10.
I just don't understand
You
it.
mean that? You mean that? Director's cut? You mean that?
Yes, sir.
Jesus
You see it.
Christ.
You mean the screenplay, the whole book here?
That's
My
all I
last one,
know.
I'm going to piss Nico off here. Here we go. Well, maybe. I'm going to go the complete opposite of his take from earlier. There's no such thing as a bad or unnecessary Scream movie. If you take the rules of Scream and say that the franchise is
That's
meta
fine.
in and of itself, if it did have a bad sequel, all you would have to do to excuse it away is say, well, we're just copying these other franchises with their bad sequels. You could say it's meta in that way, and we were just speaking about horror of the time. There is no such thing as a bad Scream movie. Well, two's close because of the dance in the cafeteria scene. But outside of that, I do like two. I don't. Anyway, 3 is great. 4 is great. 5 is great. 6 is good. Like, I don't see a reason why we can't just keep going. For every horror movie or every horror era that there is, you can make a Scream movie about it. The same way that I want the Scary Movie franchise to come back and keep being made, because then we can make fun of all those movies and the Scream that came out recently. Like, I think Scream can be a continuous loop, that if there did happen to be what would some people consider a stinker, you could just excuse it away with the fact that, well, all the other movies at the time stunk, so we were just commenting on the horror at the time. So no such thing as a bad Scream movie or unnecessary Scream movie as long as horror movies keep getting made. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but that's definitely a strong opinion that I hold.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you. Scream 14, Sydney's grandkids turn on her, right? I'm kidding. I love Nev
And
Campbell.
Nev, you
Can't
want
wait
to
to
come
meet
on
her
the show?
someday.
Nico would love to do the interview.
The only one I have left is the Cheech versus Kiki Ma, and so but I ranted about that in our Friday the 13th Part 4 review. And
Okay. Everybody good as far as host goes. We could go to listener feedback now.
I got one more.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
No, we need to go. We need to go to commercial. I'm hot under the collar over here.
All right, I'll just piggyback on kind of my last one. I had them combined, but I broke them up. Just I didn't want to talk too much. The 2000s to present is significantly better than the previous decades horror movie wise. Let's go ahead and go to our users though.
Man dedicated 4 episodes to 2024.
Hey, I don't. hey, when you have an elite
I
year
know,
of
man.
cinema
I
like
agree.
that, it deserved it, brother. Hey, 2024 had more good horror movies in the entire 90s. Let's go ahead and go on.
fucking Christ.
Brian, you want to do Facebook? You got the old book of faces?
Yeah, I do. Meg Stone said that Scream, and she loves it, is a murder mystery and not a. I'm sorry, I couldn't read the rest of that. It's a horror movie, I think's what she said. No, she said it's not. And I'm just playing. Shiana Turner. I don't care for Sydney in the Scream series. She loves Gail so much more. She has the best character arc.
Until 6.
Michelle Mirza says that Jason Takes Manhattan is a good movie.
Yeah, thanks for
Yikes.
listening to the show,
I'm with you,
Michelle.
Michelle. We're in this
Um,
together.
Eric Doolittle. Here we go. The original Texas Chainsaw is terrible. Okay. And then someone said, Brian tell you to say this? I did not. I would never. And Eric Doolittle says that we just happen to be 2 separate people with great taste. Absolutely, Eric. Shout out Eric Doolittle. Troy Ray said Elizabeth Moss is the bad guy in The Invisible Man. I actually have not seen The Invisible Man. So
yeah, don't read his
I don't know.
follow up. Don't read
I've
his
seen
follow up because I don't know if everybody's seen it. So
Yeah.
I've seen it, but I don't remember it that well.
Okay.
What's The Invisible Man, a movie that came out years ago? Spoil it.
2020. It came out in 2020.
I don't-
not the.
I don't
5
know.
years
Years.
old.
I'll go
That's
read the
5
follow up. I'd
years.
like to know what he said.
But you haven't seen it yet.
Don't care.
He's
Hang
just
on.
mad. He don't care. He don't care
Hang
anymore.
on. If we're talking about who the real villain was,
He's all
though,
hot
let me
and
get one
bothered.
more off.
He's hot.
Oh, here we
Oh,
go.
boy.
Hey,
Here
we
we
ain't gotta
go.
yell hot about it, brother.
Here comes some Maggie Hart slander.
Maggie Hart. Maggie Hart is the most diabolical person we've ever covered on this show.
Hey, you're working.
Diabolical.
I mean, more than Bev.
Hey,
Cheated to hurt.
hey, brother, you're
Didn't
working
cheat
yourself
just
into
to
a
have
shoe
fun.
right now, man. Come
Who
on.
does that? Who does that? Who cheats
Huh.
specifically to hurt someone?
Okay.
That's all for the Book of Faces.
Dustin, you got the old X's pulled up?
She's a succubus. Yeah, I do. On X, Sean the Glee Man said, besides that Jason X is underrated, Hereditary was a boring movie without Toni Collette's performance.
Yeah, I was gonna say
mac and
that's
cheese
so
sucks
boys.
without
I
the
can't-
noodles. What are we talking
Hey, I can
about
only
here?
agree with you when you're right,
Um,
Sean. Come on, man.
All right. And then he also he followed it up and said, also, the new Nosferatu wasn't that great either. The cinematography and fashion were amazing, but the story was
Hadn't seen it.
lackluster. I'm with you.
Never
there. I
got
think
around to
Nico is
seeing
too.
Yeah, I hate to agree. God damn it, Robert Eggers.
Randy Smith, Go Dog, said, actually, I'm not going to read that one.
Well, we know
He
you feel
said
that way.
A24 is overrated. Yeah, okay. Like I told Brian, you wouldn't get it. Andrew Ferguson said, the Scream franchise is unimaginative. Just rinse and repeat. You want to tackle that one, Mike?
Yeah, what?
You want to tackle that one, Mike?
Okay. If you're
It's meta.
if you're
It's-
specifically
it's-
talking about the Sydney family plotline or whatever, like, to me, that's not even what I think of when I think of Scream. So, like, if that's really what you're focused on, the ghost face part, that's fine. But, like, it's the other stuff, man. They're commenting on horror of different eras in each time. Like, it's very meta in that way. And if you don't like meta, which I do, so I'm biased, that's a fair critique, I guess, if you don't like meta movies. But, like, damn, man, like, how are they unimaginative? They think of something pretty creative every time, so good that you're holding it to the standard of the first one where the ghost face reveal were good. I don't know, man. Like, I don't really think it's that damn important to have, like, the best ghost face of all time. Like, as long as it fits with the storytelling, I don't care. That's if you think it's unimaginative, that's your opinion. This is what hot takes are for, buddy. And now you can see I'm all hot and bothered, brother. I got work to do a shoot.
And then the last one on X is from Elijah Trombone, who says, this is a hot one. Across Nightmare, Halloween, and Friday franchises, 5 good movies. As long as you say all 5 of those were in Friday, then I'm with you.
Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, those are good movies.
Mike, I'll let you go last for the gram. I'll knock out TikTok and
that's
YouTube. There's only 2
bullshit.
comments. And Scream is getting bullied over here. Jeremy Ireland is hating on Scream too. He's put the yelling emoji. Scream isn't a horror movie. It's a comedy like the scary movies. I don't agree with that, brother. I don't agree with
you're
that.
allowed
But
to have your own opinion.
you're allowed to have your own opinion. And we'll jump over to the old YouTubes. I agree with my man Ghostface 1393 here. The best way to watch Scream franchise is 1 and then 5.
Wrong.
And the rest can go
4
unwatched.
is
I won't disagree with that.
Oh,
But I know. But that is a
what
hot
is
take.
with our listeners? I love you guys. I mean, is what I meant to say. Anyway, love you guys. Mean it. Okay, we're going on over to the Instagrams here, and I'm going to go from the bottom up because I wanted someone else to feel attacked besides myself here. I feel like this one's strictly for Dustin at Main Daddy with a bunch of Ys or 2 Ys 420 says Art the Clown is one of the best horror villains of all time. Much respect to the OGs, but I would hate to run into Art. Look at that, buddy. They feel okay. Oh, this is also right. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I gave Art his props. He is a good character. He's menacing. He's vicious. He's brutal. But the movies have no substance other than kills.
Jake Goldstein says horror movies don't need to be so serious. I agree with you, Jake. Not always, buddy. You can have fun with a horror movie. Anyway.
I mean, I'm not arguing
Yes,
that.
it was.
What was Hard Eyes? Hard Eyes was fun. That was a fun movie. Companion, super fun. They don't all have to be. But if you're going to attempt to be taken seriously,
fair
you got to
enough.
make me think a little.
Oh, Optional 13th Ghost. Again, one of the best names of all time, but guy. I liked Halloween Ends better than Halloween Kills. As the ending to a long-awaited trilogy. Oh.
I'm with you.
All right, no, you're not. You like Ends better than Kills?
Didn't I say that?
No.
I think that Kills has great kills, but the story, it's like the first movie was too long, so they just cut a bunch of it out and made a movie that didn't advance the story at all. I said that. I know I said that. No, it's terrible. Okay, maybe I don't agree with it, but at least the story gets tied up. There's a
He
conclusion.
has more.
The
He
second one
says
is just filler.
as the ending to a long-awaited trilogy was absolutely terrible, but hear me out. As an overall story within the Halloween universe, I thought it was pretty entertaining. And while it didn't land in every capacity, I do commend David Gordon Green for taking a big swing Season of the Witch style. Although I will agree that I would really prefer he not touch any more beloved franchises. That's the best thing you've said right there, Actual 13 Ghost. David Gordon Green, take your ass back to comedy. Come on, man. What we doing? Okay. Horrorhead Heather 85, one of our bigger fans here, says, right at Nico, 1990s horror is greater than 1980s horror. Okay. All right. Well, that's a tough, I don't know. Yeah. Oh.
They're both equally.
Okay. All right.
great.
Last one here. This is Jordan Zager. She had the same take as Brian. We talked about it at the start of the show. The Shining is overrated. It makes me feel like I'm watching paint dry anytime I try to rewatch it. Oh, Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan.
Love you, Jordan.
That's the point. That's the point. You're supposed to drift into madness like he did.
Hey, you ain't gonna how about it?
and it gave us all their truth about the moon landing hoax. The details are there, man.
You know what? I will give it props to. It gave us Dr. Sleep. So, you know what? Thank you.
That is
Thank
it.
you.
I
Because
needed
without-
that NyQuil.
yeah, buddy.
Without
I
the
needed
Shining,
that
no
NyQuil.
comment on
would
Dr.
not have
Sleep. I'm
gotten
not allowed
Dr.
to.
Sleep.
I'm not allowed to give my opinion
Haven't
on Dr.
slept
Sleep.
like that in years.
I'll shut up about that movie. Goddamn Gabe Halloween 2 Rob Zombie a higher rating than Dustin did. You fuck.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding. All right. Well, that does it for Instagram. By the way, I want to end it since it's my birthday episode here on my actual last hot take, which is all vampire movies are overrated and they suck. All right, guys. Anybody else got anything?
I see what you did there. You were making a joke. You didn't
No,
mean that.
no,
They suck
no,
like they
no,
suck blood.
No,
I
the
get what you
movies
did. Okay, yeah,
stink.
I'll
They
allow it.
smell. Yep. Uh-huh.
Hey, Hey, check his rating for Abigail. Don't let him
I
change
do
his
like
mind.
Abigail.
That quick.
I do like
he'll
Abigail.
change his
Yeah.
mind. It's okay.
We're
It's
stri-
okay for him.
We're
see,
we're
there we
speaking
go.
of generalities.
Ah.
Speaking of generalities, here.
Yeah.
Come on. There's always some exceptions to the norm, you know?
Just come on.
Those movies stink. Fellas, I appreciate you indulging me in the hot takes here. I think we've talked about them throughout our runtime, like I've mentioned, but it was nice to get together and have a good list. And surprisingly, who walked away the hottest about this was Dustin, who I think going into the show really didn't care. And now he's all hot and bothered. That makes me smile. I appreciate that, fellas. Fellas, anything else before we get out of here?
Jason X sucks.
Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, take care of yourself.
Just want to remind everybody.